Ever wondered who the greatest kings of ancient Bharat really were? It's a question that sparked debates for centuries. Today, we're diving deep into the pages of history to uncover the stories of the legendary rulers who shaped a subcontinent. So, grab your chai, get comfortable, and let's journey back in time together. When we think of ancient civilizations, places like Rome, Greece, or Egypt might come to mind first. But ancient Bharat, or India, has a history that's just as rich, complex, and absolutely fascinating. It's a land of mighty empires, profound philosophies, and of course, incredible kings. A common misconception is that Bharat's history is somehow less documented or less significant. That couldn't be further from the truth. The stories of its kings are not just tales of conquest and power. They are epic sagas of vision, transformation, and enduring legacy. These rulers didn't just build empires. They built cultures, sponsored art and science, and wrestled with some of the biggest questions of life and governance. Their influence is still felt today, woven into the very fabric of modern India. So let's challenge ourselves and try to figure out who truly deserves the title of the greatest. To start our quest, we have to talk about the Mauryan Empire, one of the largest empires of its time. And at its heart was a man named Chandragupta Maurya. Think about this. Around 322 BCE, a young man, guided by the brilliant strategist Chanakya, overthrew the powerful Nanda dynasty and established his own. That's a movie plot right there. Chandragupta wasn't just a conqueror, he was a master administrator. He created a centralized government that was incredibly efficient, with a vast network of spies, a strong army, and a structured tax system. His empire stretched from the Bay of Bengal in the east to Afghanistan in the west. He successfully repelled the invasion of Seleucus I Nicator, one of Alexander the Great's generals, and even established diplomatic ties with the Hellenistic world. Chandragupta's story is a testament to what ambition, strategy, and sheer determination can achieve. He laid the groundwork for an empire that would define an era, creating a unified political entity that was unprecedented in Indian history. He's a strong contender, right? But you can't talk about the Mauryan Empire without talking about Chandragupta's grandson, Ashoka, or Ashoka the Great. And honestly, great might be an understatement. Ashoka's story is one of the most dramatic transformations in world history. He started as a ruthless conqueror, expanding the empire with brutal efficiency. His most infamous campaign was the Kalinga War. The sheer scale of death and destruction in that war, with over 100,000 people killed, deeply affected him. It was a moment of profound crisis and change. Instead of celebrating his victory, Ashoka was filled with remorse. This led him to embrace Buddhism and its principles of non-violence or ahimsa. He completely changed his way of ruling. He went from being Chandashoka, or Ashoka the Fierce, to Dhammashoka, Ashoka the Righteous. He engraved his new policies, his Dhamma, on pillars and rocks throughout his vast empire, for everyone to see. These edicts promoted social welfare, tolerance for all religions, and justice. He built hospitals for people and animals, planted trees along roads, and sent Buddhist missionaries as far as Greece, Egypt, and Southeast Asia. Ashoka's legacy isn't just about the size of his empire. It's about his revolutionary idea that a ruler's duty is the moral and spiritual well-being of his subjects. That shift from conquest to compassion is what makes him a giant of history. Now let's jump forward a few centuries to the Gupta Empire, often called the Golden Age of India. This was a period of incredible achievements in science, mathematics, art, and literature. And one of the key figures behind this flourishing was Samudragupta. He was a military genius, often called the Napoleon of India, though he lived long before Napoleon. His campaigns are detailed in the Allahabad Pillar inscription, which describes him as a conqueror of dozens of kingdoms. But here's what makes him different. He wasn't just about conquering and absorbing territories. He had a very sophisticated foreign policy. Some kings he defeated were annexed into his empire. Others were turned into vassal states that paid tribute. And he even maintained friendly relations with kingdoms on the frontiers. He was a pragmatist. But beyond his military prowess, Samudragupta was a great patron of the arts. He was an accomplished poet and musician himself, even depicted on coins playing the veena, a stringed instrument. Under his rule, and that of his successors like Chandragupta II, culture thrived. The decimal system and the concept of zero were developed. Masterpieces of Sanskrit literature were written by poets like Kalidasa, and stunning works of art and architecture were created. Samudragupta created the stability and prosperity that allowed for this incredible cultural explosion. He was both a warrior and a connoisseur, a conqueror and a culture builder. Let's not forget the South, which had its own powerful dynasties and legendary kings. One of the most celebrated is Rajaraja Chola I of the Chola dynasty. Ruling around the turn of the 11th century, he was a formidable military leader who built the Chola Empire into a dominant maritime power. His navy controlled the Indian Ocean, and his influence extended all the way to Southeast Asia. But Rajaraja's greatness lies not just in his conquests. He was a brilliant administrator who created a highly organized system of governance. He initiated a massive land survey project, which streamlined tax collection and administration. But his most enduring legacy is architectural. He commissioned the Brihadiswarar Temple in Thanjavur, a monumental masterpiece of Dravidian architecture. This temple wasn't just a place of worship. It was the center of social and economic life. It employed hundreds of priests, dancers, musicians, and administrators, and its inscriptions give us an incredible amount of information about the society of the time. Rajaraja Chola's reign shows us a king who combined military power with administrative genius and a deep devotion to culture and religion, leaving a legacy that you can still see and touch today. Of course, there are so many other incredible kings we could talk about. There's Harsha, who, after a period of political fragmentation, unified large parts of northern India in the 7th century. He was a great patron of Buddhism and a lover of learning, even writing plays himself. His court was famous for its scholars and poets, including the great writer Banabhata. Then you have Krishna Devaraya of the Vijayanagara Empire in the 16th century, another ruler who presided over a golden age of literature and art in South India. He was known for his military successes, his administrative skills, and his patronage of Telugu literature. The list goes on, with each king adding a unique chapter to the grand story of ancient and medieval Bharat. Each of them faced different challenges, ruled over different peoples, and left behind a different kind of legacy. So, how do we decide who was the greatest? It really depends on what you value most in a ruler. Is it military genius and the creation of a vast empire? Then Chandragupta Maurya or Samudragupta might be your pick. Is it moral transformation and a focus on compassionate governance? Then Ashoka stands almost peerless. Is it the combination of maritime power, administrative reform, and cultural patronage? Then Rajaraja Chola is a top contender. Then Ashoka stands almost peerless. Is it the combination of maritime power, administrative reform, and cultural patronage? Then Rajaraja Chola is a top contender. There's no single right answer, and that's the beauty of it. Each of these kings represents a different ideal of kingship. Chandragupta represents ambition and statecraft. Ashoka represents ethics and peace. Samudragupta represents military brilliance combined with cultural patronage. And Rajaraja represents administrative excellence and architectural grandeur. Their stories show that greatness can come in many forms. It's not just about winning battles. It's about building a society, fostering culture, and leaving behind ideas that last for millennia. The real legacy of these kings is not just the land they ruled, but the civilizations they nurtured. What these stories teach us is that the history of ancient Bharat is a rich tapestry of power, philosophy, art, and human drama. It's a history that deserves to be known and celebrated. Exploring the lives of these kings gives us a window into a world that was incredibly dynamic and sophisticated. So, the challenge isn't just to pick the greatest one, but to appreciate the diverse forms of greatness they each embodied. Their legacies continue to inspire discussions about leadership, governance, and the very purpose of power. Now I want to hear from you. After hearing about these incredible rulers, who do you think was the greatest king of ancient Bharat? Was it someone I mentioned, or is there another king you believe deserves the title? Let me know your thoughts and arguments in the comments below. I'm really curious to see who you choose and why. And if you enjoyed this journey into the past, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more deep dives into history. I've also got a video on the greatest empires of the ancient world that you might want to check out next. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.